Thank you.
All right, well that was cool. Um, did pretty good today on my posts. Um, everything actually the only thing that threw me for a loop is I thought that they were going to do the when I did all these earlier today. I kind of expected them to do the iPhone 10 first. So that was the only story that I had to like significantly edit. Was the iPhone 8 because I assume that um, the yeah the true heroes are the leakers. Kind of assume that they're going to do 10 first, then be like, oh, by the way, there's also these two other shittier models that no one really cares about. But it actually is kind of cool to see that the iPhone 8 also felt like it was its own announcement instead of falling into this weird hole where it's like this is the iPhone SE that no one really cares about, right? Let's see if Apple is updated with all this new stuff yet. Not yet. Hmm. I guess no one's flipped the switch yet at Apple. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I I like I like the iPhone X. Seems cool. I think my surprise more than anything else is that I was expecting there to be a bigger I performance difference, I guess. Um, no, the Apple website still is not updated yet. Huh. I was expecting there to be, I thought it was going to be the difference between like an iPad and iPad Pro, right? How iPad Pro has the like slightly better A11 processor and like more RAM and stuff like that. Um, so for them to have the same processor, it's kind of interesting. So that at that point, your choice is like, do I want to pay more money for the OLED screen and um, all the other stuff? Because the performance is going to be the same between two devices, presumably. Um, I kind of think that all the gesture stuff is going to be super awkward. Um, Maybe we'll get the Apple site taking longer. Yep, here we go. All right. Um, so I don't know. It's interesting. These after seeing it in motion, like when you're using an app, like when they were using the weather app and these notches up here were uh they kind of added to the overall ambience of like the weather app and stuff. That was cool. But when they turned it sideways and like the notch here is taking up room for video, like I really didn't like that. Like I hope there's a mode that like you can just play your video, like 16 by 9 with like not using these and not using the curved edges, because like so you're losing this for video, and you're also losing like these corners down here. I don't do my mouse pointer that well, but um, it's interesting kind of thing. Um, yeah, I mean this. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it works in practice, because like this up here seems very clever to have like to move the status bar, like clock and all this stuff like up to the top. It seems like it makes a lot of sense. Um, but I was really expecting like this just to go because like it's an OLED screen, right? So if it's off, it's like almost pure black. Um, so if the bezel itself is black, you shouldn't really notice. Um, like it should just look like a square screen, right? So that's an odd decision. I'm super concerned from a gaming perspective of how all these wacky ass gestures are gonna be um thing like this. I really just don't know. Like I just imagine I like think of how many games you play that you're flipping things forward or whatever else like that. Like I mean, like even Ramp Champ I posted about yesterday. Like that's a a forward vertical swipe kind of thing. Um, I don't know. And like so the other thing, like if you like if you have your iPhone and like you're expected to like go all the way down like this every time you want to go home, like that seems like a uncomfortable kind of uh gesture to make. Although I guess it's not really that much farther than hitting the home button. I don't know. And like then having the control center stuff is like a totally different like downward swipe from the corner. Like I just imagine playing a game like Infinity Blade where you're swiping like this all over the screen and like you're gonna be triggering the control center stuff and then hitting the home screen and bringing up multitasking stuff and yeah, I don't know. Seems seems cool though. I mean, yeah, see like these intuitive gestures. I just don't know. I guess it depends how good it is at like detecting that bottom edge, or if like you really need to like hit it from the extreme bottom. Um, I don't know. See, like the control center swipe down from the corner, that seems like it makes more sense to me. Um, I just don't know about the rest of it though. I kind of wish that it makes me wonder if there's not going to be some like accessibility option where you can't use this side button here as a home button. Because iOS is typically so good with accessibility stuff. Um, like here you are using it for Apple Pay, which you typically use the home button for, right? So, huh? I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be weird going back and forth between the iPad and iPhone now with this significant difference in how you use it. I mean, I feel like I already when I use my iPad, I find myself like trying to use 3D touch gestures all the time. So this is gonna be kind of weird too. Um, it is pretty impressive how much stuff they packed in the front, though. I mean, like, geez, just no. Face ID seems cool though. I mean, I guess if it works just as well as Touch ID, I can't get over how they keep showing or they kept showing how unbelievably smooth these edges were and stuff. And all I was thinking was like, this sucks because like you're either gonna drop it and it's gonna look like shit after the first time you like it bounces across your driveway, or you're just gonna have it in a case. Which I mean, I guess I don't know. I like my Apple leather case an awful lot, so whatever. But I don't know. I'm curious to see how much the HDR stuff kind of matters. I was expecting it to be 144 or 120 hertz or whatever the iPad is, the true motion or whatever they call it stuff. Yeah, see, like this really bothers me. Like watching a movie, really hope you can zoom out. This sucks. I'm curious, like, so the yeah, I mean, you guys are right. The resolution is strange, but like, if you have a wallpaper, is it gonna just kind of like, so where does the 2436 by 1125 start? Like, does it actually start down in this corner here, and everything else just kind of like gets rounded off with the weird UI stuff? Uh, I don't have any problems with heat on my phone at all. Like the only time I've ever gotten the overheating warning was like when I had my phone like legitimately sitting in very hot afternoon sun. So let's see. The front and back glass are all glass is more durable than ever made with a strengthening layer that's 50% deeper. Huh. Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know. The glass back kind of makes me nervous because it's like you imagine dropping your phone and like cracking the back of it. I mean, I guess it like functionally be fine. You could put a case on it, but that would really bother me. Um, Face ID stuff is cool though. pretty neat that like that's all you really have to do to train it is, just this whole like, look around. I guess all it really needs is like to capture all your angles. But it makes you wonder like how severe your profile can be to have it unlock, because it looks like the guy only really moves his head like 10 degrees in any particular direction. Um, Check this out. Interesting. It makes you wonder like if it's really just like looking at this triangle here, basically for the figuring out your face. It's cool technology though. Definitely pretty awesome. So this is pretty neat. I dig this. Like so if you have it so it only how do I replay this animation? That's pretty cool. So um at the start of this it just showed like the messages that just said like one new message from Rand Hill, and then when you looked at it, it showed the text and stuff. I don't think that it's going to be a problem to unlock at night because like it has like this infrared camera, uh, and this is infrared light helps identify your face even when it's dark. I don't think that'll be an issue. Um, I don't know. Camera stuff. I mean, camera stuff's always neat because I take a lot of photos of just dumb crap, right? But I don't know. Curious about that. This emoji stuff seems neat. Yes. I mean, people really like the Snapchat stuff, so I'm not the right demographic for that kind of thing. It's hard for me to imagine myself sending like the animated fox. Very many people like doing this. I don't see it. It is pretty cool how like good the facial mapping is, though. I mean, that's impressive. But this is stupid. It makes you wonder though, like if this API is open to developers, because if it just shows up as an app down here, like maybe the emoji thing that they're showing is just kind of like a proof of concept, right? Of course, they're promoting clips. I don't know anyone that uses clips. I'm excited. So, what makes me the most excited about having the iPhone 10 is that I find the Plus models to be too large for my likings. But I really like my girlfriend has one, and the camera, the dual camera system and like the portrait stuff is really neat. So having a smaller phone that has that is very interesting to me. Hmm. Especially with the stabilization stuff, because I've always had kind of shaky hands, so I don't know enough about photography to know if this makes that's meaningful or not. But having the zoom stuff and everything else is gonna be really cool because I've definitely been like, hey, give me your phone. Like I gotta let me zoom in a little bit. Just went through that. I mean, these photos look fantastic, right? Especially low light stuff. Like if that's a legitimate, real deal, like not professionally touched up photo in low light, that's kind of amazing. And if this is like a real flash photo, that looks nuts for a flash photo. Like when I take pictures with the flash on my iPhone, it's like, in a situation like this, it'd be like who I'm taking like their forehead's all shiny and all this other stuff. So that's pretty neat. And I'm excited for the 60 frames per second 4K video. So like when we go to conventions and stuff like that, we like I used to have all this crazy camera gear that I used to carry around. Like we had real deal camcorders and like tripods and stuff to pick up audio, and then we kind of switched to direct capture stuff, which introduced even more cables and things like that. But in recent years, the iPhone has gotten good enough that when we go to like PAX or E3 or something like that, like I just shoot video with my iPhone. It looks great. Um, I like shooting gameplay at 60 frames per second, but the current iPhone doesn't do that. So this is actually a pretty awesome upgrade for me. Um, Although I mean, a 4K video is going to be huge to upload, which is always kind of a challenge. But um, just I mean, like, look at the this contrast between light and dark. Like, that is amazing. But like I was saying before, like it's always difficult to get an idea of whether or not you're being bamboozled by Apple when it comes to these photographers, because it's not like I would be impressed if it was like, all right, here we're giving 10 iPhone 10s to like random grandmas we found on the street and ask them to go to this park and take photos. Like, all they've ever used is like whatever cell phone camera they have now, or maybe a point and shoot or something like that, and like check out the amazing photos that they took. Like, that would be impressive to me. But like, so I bet if we here, like, let's do this. Let's Google this guy. Like this is a real deal professional photographer guy. Like look at these photos that he takes himself. Like dude does photos of Cadillacs, for like car ads, and these bags for whatever store that's for, and all this stuff. So it's like, this is a very, very qualified person that's using this camera, and I bet we can Google the name of any of these photographers and find similar. So it's not, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, better camera is better camera, but it's like, I always think that's a tiny bit misleading. This game seems cool. I don't know. I Journey was fun. If it's like an iOS-ish version of Journey, that's cool. But it seems weirdly derivative though, in a way. But I guess, I don't know. It's just judged off the trailer and like the cooperative kind of stuff, and all that. I'm pretty sure this is a screenshot of Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition. That's interesting that they didn't choose something more recognizable, right? Because isn't this the road at the beginning that you're driving down, your car breaks down? Power efficiency, that's always good. Like, this in games, I don't know. I just don't know about this. Like, hopefully, I don't know. Like, strange design decision. I mean, I guess, we're all gonna get used to it, right? Like, it's gonna be one of those things where it's like, oh, whatever. You won't even really notice after a while. But I don't know. I always like these stats that Apple puts up, like, oh, up to 70% faster CPU efficiency cores. Like, that means nothing to anyone. At least they didn't put up a chart this time that's always like, like, oh, look how much faster this is than the other one. Here's a chart with no labeled axes, or axes, I guess. This AR game, that looks cool, but it's like hard to imagine. And this is the reason why I've really never been into the augmented reality stuff, is that it seems like it's just, I think it's going to be cumbersome to play a game like this. Like, imagine, like, so if you stood up and just held your iPhone like this, and like moved it around all over a table or whatever, like, how long can you be making this kind of movement or gesture or whatever, like, especially if it's asking you to, like, kneel down and move around? Like, how long do you do that before you go, I don't know, this is kind of stupid, right? As opposed to, like, I feel like most people play iPhone games just like kind of one-handed like this. That's why there's so many portrait mode, just like quick pick up and play games. So this seems neat, but I really just don't think that games like this are going to be the killer feature though. Like, here, let me see if I can find ARKit measuring tape. All right, so I don't know why Apple didn't show a demo like this. So this is just a super rough demo from just after WWDC, but like, this is a game changer, I think. Like stuff like this is going to be so unbelievably useful. And look, it's off, like, over the course of 48 inches, off like maybe what it looked like, maybe a half to like a third of an inch or so. Like, that is going to be awesome for when you need to do just like quick little measurements. I mean, because like most of the time when I need a measuring tape or something, like, I don't need to know the exact to like the hundredth of an inch or whatever. Um, I just need to know like, oh, all right, cool, this is about 6 feet long, or I guess more precision than that would be nice, but like, certainly this would be awesome. Like that kind of stuff. I feel like if they would have showed it at the keynote, people would have been like, oh, all right, I get it. Like that's really cool. Instead of like, oh, look at these explosions. Like I don't know. So I don't know. Wireless charging, that's going to be really cool. I guess I'm going to have to buy new AirPods because you can't have the one thing that you plug in, right? Like especially if I'm going to get the iPhone X and the new Apple Watch, and I'm curious if they're going to just sell the new case because I know you can get a replacement case for your AirPods. Like if you go to the Apple store and you're like, I have headphones, I lost the case. Like, can I just get the case? It's like $50 or something like that for just the case. So I wonder if you're gonna be able to go in there and be like, oh yeah, I totally just bought the new AirPods but lost the case. Can I get this one, guys? Um, oh, optional new AirPod case. So it's the case that's optional, huh? Edit that post. Yeah, I think this is gonna be really cool. I've been kind of jealous of friends of mine that have Android phones that do the wireless charging thing for a long time, and like, because it just seems so neat. Because there's so many of these, like here, like let's look like QI, charging nightstand. Um, here's like here, like let's look at this one at IKEA. This is really cool. Um, I don't know if it's just this piece that you charge on or whatever, but I mean, like realistically, like you could build this into furniture. Like that seems really neat to just like, you know, anywhere you put your phone on your nightstand or whatever. No. But so I noticed something during the announcement too, in that I believe there's multiple I guess it's pronounced key. I always said QI. Um let's see what kind of footnote. Wireless. Um yeah, let's see which spec they're using. Because one of the things that leaked, they mentioned that it wasn't using the new like key 2 or whatever. Oh, chi is how you pronounce it. I don't know. It's QI in my head, so whatever. Um, they're not using the newest iteration of that, so it's going to be slower, based on rumors, which I guess it doesn't really say anywhere like how much faster or slower it is or whatever. But I like where this is going. I mean, like realistically, if it's slower, but you just kind of throw your stuff on this pad at night, um, and it's charged in the morning, it's like whatever. It's like if you have a electric car or whatever. Yeah, but here, like, let's look. I feel like there's more than one though. Power for inductive transfers delivery under 5 watts. Uh, medium power. Okay, yeah. So I think this is what I read about is the specification goes up to medium power. Uh, 5 watts, and medium power can deliver up to 120 watts, which it says here used to power displays and laptops. And the high power can go up to 1 kilowatt. So I mean, really, like, so the iPad charger is what, 10 watts, right? So the little tiny the standard Apple wireless charger, I think that's a 5-watt charger, right? It's so maybe you won't notice any difference. I mean, I don't know. I use Anchor chargers, which do like deliver as much power as your device can possibly take. So, um, seems neat. I was loving stuff. I'm excited for that. Hopefully the um goes fine. The Touch Arcade app's gonna die, but whatever. Um, Augmented reality games are kind of just okay. Oh, it looks like they got leather cases again. That's neat. Let's check and see what accessories we've got here. So AirPods still 160, $60 for this charging base. Doesn't look like they have anything up yet for the new phones. Yeah, here. Wireless charging, that seems cool. Really like the pad. iOS 11 is what it is. Accessories seem neat. Oh, I like this. This is going to be a real deal, like Apple leather wallet case. That's pretty cool. See what we do when we compare here. Oh, so it looks like the iPhone X only comes in silver and space gray, like the rumors were saying. I guess there's like they were saying there might be a bronze color too. I guess that's just the gold, space gray, and silver, and the other ones. Um, I'm surprised that they didn't offer a third like 512 gigabyte capacity. Um, yeah, so Super Retina HD, a bigger screen, HDR display. Man, that is really high resolution. Other one. Um, brightness is the same. Yeah, so the height is like barely bigger than the actual iPhone 8, which seems cool, and the width is kind of like somewhere in between. Depth's basically the same. Weight also in between the two. Get any more specific about these A11 Bionic stuff? Um, so cameras here seem the same between the two, although this one has dual optical stabilization. Yes. Um, optical and digital zoom the same. Yeah, it looks like they're using primarily the same sensors. It would seem like on that. So what's going to be interesting is to see whether or not this is a Intel or Qualcomm chip in it. Um, although here, if it says some models, that kind of makes me think that they're going to switch out. They're going to do the same thing where it's going to be a GSM and a Verizon model that will likely also do GSM. I got kind of boned with my current iPhone 7 because I was on AT&T and so AT&T was one of the last carrier. Or no, I was on AT&T. T-Mobile did their unlimited thing, which was way cheaper than what I was paying for on AT&T. So I switched over to T-Mobile. But T-Mobile service for me is terrible. So I wanted to then I was like, all right, well Verizon's doing unlimited too. Like I might as well just switch to Verizon, pay a little bit more, have way better service. But I have the GSM phone, which I don't. It was either I think this has the Intel modem in it, not the Qualcomm one, because the Qualcomm one could do GSM and like all the LTE bands and CDMA, which Verizon needs. So um, Verizon iPhone 7 actually turned out to be the superior iPhone last time around. So lasts up to 2 hours longer than iPhone 7. Same battery as iPhone 7 Plus. So this makes me wonder, like the battery stuff makes me wonder if it's not going to be like the iPhone 10 isn't going to be pretty equivalent to like the Plus models when it comes to battery. Although maybe not, because internet use here says up to 12 hours, while this is up to 13. So I don't know. I guess somewhere in the middle. Sounds like it. And then fast charge capable. That's cool. No light or no headphone jack, of course. Nano SIM, not compatible with existing SIM cards. So the same SIM as the Apple Watch, huh? Lightning connector. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. The Apple Watch one was like they called it something else, like a crazy micro SIM or whatever. So we can go through got the iPhone 8. iPhone 8, there's not really going to be any surprises here after going through the iPhone 10. Makes me wonder what they're going to do for like the iPhone 9 though. So next year's iPhone is going to be the iPhone 10s and the iPhone 9, iPhone 11. Numbering gets real weird. Glass back on this is really cool too. The camera seems to, it's annoying how the camera bulge is now a thing. A thing on the iPhone 7? Yeah, I guess so. My iPad, whatever the newest iPad is called now, iPad Air 2 or no, iPad Pro, or I don't know, whatever. It's got the camera that sticks out. It's kind of annoying. Um, so Retina HD, the True Tone stuff on my iPad is really cool. Yeah, I don't know, like but once after you go through the iPhone 10, like the iPhone 8 seems very boring. That makes you wonder if the time to buy Apple stock isn't going to be sometime between after the iPhone 8 comes out and before the iPhone 10, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I'm not getting an iPhone 8, I'm going to wait for an iPhone 10, which is going to cause potentially investor people to be like, oh man, no one's buying the new iPhone, sell, 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 which might make Apple stock go really low. It should be a good time to pick some up, maybe. Same processor. Yeah, so they are showing Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition. This is a more recognizable shot. So they have Noct and Gladiolus and what's this guy's name? Or yes, I think. I don't remember. Um, Real home button. That's cool. Oh, here's this Warhammer game. More wireless charging. That's all the same. Same. Giant step for iPhone. More AR stuff. Kind of neat. Accessories and stuff. Find the right iPhone for you. Let's look at the Apple Watch real quick. I'm super excited for this. I really like this band too. That's really cool. Kind of like wrap around with Velcro stuff. So yeah, so I have the first generation Apple Watch, and I don't know, like I never got that into it. Like I found it to be like so I find my phone to be pretty annoying most of the time. So I found the Apple Watch to be like even more annoying than my phone, because like at least I can put my phone down on a table somewhere or whatever, and it's not like buzzing on in my pocket all the time. But like getting so many notifications to the watch was kind of annoying, and like I knew you could like adjust the granularity of all that, but I just never found a good like medium um where I was like, all right, cool, like this is it. I'm totally in. Um I don't know, I just kind of quit wearing it. Um but I like the idea of like, being able to like take the dog for a walk or go on a run or something like that and like not be tied to my phone all the time. Like that seems like a really cool thing. Um because it's one less thing to carry around, and it really seems like when the Apple Watch first came out, my speculation was something along the lines of like, all right, here's what's going to happen. Um, the the phone is eventually going to go away, and your watch is going to do everything. And like maybe in the future, you have like some kind of like screen like device that's just kind of like a dummy screen for the watch. Like, so imagine if the watch was the new phone, right? And the watch did everything, but you could buy something that's like a iPod Touch equivalent or something like that, which is like a very like a dumb screen basically, that just like maybe something like this, maybe thinner because you could strip out a lot of stuff inside of it. And then like if you needed to do things like more involved, like answering emails or whatever, you're like, oh, let me pull out my Apple Watch screen or whatever weird thing they're going to call it. But I really think that's the way we're trending. Like, especially, like, all it would take is really a breakthrough in battery technology. Like, when you look at the way that processor technology is going, like, they're getting faster and faster and doing more and more with less and less power. So, like, if battery scientists figured out a way to get exponentially more energy in the same kind of space and density as lithium ion technology now, man, that would be a unbelievable, that would be a life changer of a game changer kind of thing. Let's see, can we learn more here? Yeah, the LTE stuff, that's gonna be so cool. Really hope you can get Spotify on this though. That's gonna be kind of, I really don't want to. I feel like Apple has been kind of like bullying me towards getting involved in Apple Music for the longest time now. And I don't know, I really like Spotify. I got all my playlists set up. Like the thing is, like, once you get involved in an ecosystem like that, like I can't even tell you how many playlists I've made over like the decade or whatever that I've had Spotify. Um, so it would be a lot to pull that over to Apple Music, unless there was like some kind of like importer thing. Then maybe that would be cool. But um, I really like these wraparound bands. This is really neat. Kind of like the I don't remember what it was called, like the chainmail one from the original Apple Watch. Um, yeah, this is so cool. If I can, like, this setup here, I really dig. Like if I when I go out for a run, if I can just strap my watch on, throw my AirPods in, and stream shit, like that is gonna be really cool. Um, Especially, man, like the altimeter is going to be able to see how many floors that you've climbed. Like I held on to one of the first generation Fitbits for a very long time because they phased out their altimeter stuff for more waterproofing. And it kind of always bummed me out to not be able to get like flights climbed, because I used to do a lot of compete in those like stair climbing marathons. Like I climbed the John Hancock Tower and Chicago and stuff, and it was pretty neat to be able to like, oh hey, you climbed 100 floors today or whatever it was. I think the gym stuff seems cool. I don't have a modern enough machine that uses any of that, and I don't think any of the gyms in my area, um, still do it. Like I have a Fitbit, whatever like the cheap one is now, the $60 one, the Charge 2, I think it is, or the Flex 2, whatever the cheapest one is. Um, Waterproofing's neat. I don't know. I kind of gave up on my first gen Apple Watch, and then it felt like it got really slow with updates and stuff. Making these, like, I guess third party apps have gotten way better, but I just haven't really used them that much. Um, I don't know. I do really think that the heart stuff that they mentioned is pretty fascinating. Um, like this Apple Heart Study stuff, I love it. Like that seems like such a good idea. Because like, so if you have a device on your wrist that can read your heart rate at any time that you're sitting there, um, why shouldn't it be monitoring you and like seeing if you have weird problems or whatever that like maybe you just don't know about? Um, it's like of the people that I've known that are like my parents' age and stuff, and have gone through the whole like bypass and whatever kind of different heart operations people get, when they get all clogged up and stuff. Like the trigger for that usually is like if you don't go in for a physical or something like that on the reg, or like maybe you're a little bit younger, so you haven't hit the point where it's like, all right, we're gonna do a full heart scan or whatever else. Like the people I've known that have had those problems have been like, yeah, I don't know, like I was really just kind of felt short of breath whenever I did stuff, and it was just like, oh, I overexerted myself, didn't think too much of it, whatever else. And then finally went to the doctor, and they're like, dude, you're 95% blocked. Like we need to get you to an operating table like right now. And if your Apple Watch, which you just got to take phone calls while you're wandering around or whatever other reason, can give you that nudge of like, hey dude, like you need to go to the doctor or else like you might just drop dead. Like this honestly seems like the biggest piece of technology that Apple has done that really feels like it's meaningfully life changing potentially for some people. Like imagine if you had you just bought it because I don't know, you wanted to fill in your activity rings, or you wanted a cooler Fitbit, and the Apple Watch tracks movement too. Um, and then you found out that you had like some weird exotic heart problem that they were able to like catch and get you on medication and everything else. Like that seems really amazing. Um, like on the level of like whenever they show like deaf people and stuff like that being able to use the iPhone as like a major communication medium and things like that. Um, I'm gonna be curious to see once people start getting review units of these, like how feasible it is to like go your entire day without an iPhone. Like, is it going to be something that you're going to be able to do conceivably just like not having a phone and you just have your Apple Watch? Because like if all you really like, if you don't do a lot of like emailing or text messaging or whatever else, and really just have your phone to make calls a couple times a day, like it seems like the Apple Watch itself could potentially be all you really need. Maybe, I don't know. I'm curious to see how Siri is going to be on the Apple Watch. That was another thing that they went over. That I don't know. Like I just Siri for me generally seems useless. Um, I use Siri on my phone to set timers, and that's about it. Everything else seems kind of useless. So, um, I don't know. I'm not not super optimistic on Siri for the Apple Watch being that incredibly useful, but I don't know. So what's interesting? All right, yeah, here let's view pricing on the how much pricing details they've got up on phone. So Apple Watch 2 GPS to cellular is $329, like they said in the keynote. Um, I like the stainless one. So it looks like the sport models, like so all the sport models are 329. Then the aluminum ones here are also 399. But where's okay? So stainless was the sport band is $600. I had $200 for the stainless, huh? I don't know about that. I don't know if it's worth the $200 premium. It's interesting that they didn't show the bigger kind of price spread on the actual no, isn't it? I wonder if these will eventually also be available in this the sport loop. That's what I like of these. That seems like a really cool thing. Um, as far as the question about the file system change, I don't really have much of an opinion on it. Like I saved space when they changed it over, and it seems to work fine. It's transparent to me as a user. Um, the Nike stuff doesn't do anything for me. I don't know. And the I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce this. That's how you know a white trash poor person is. I guess it's Hermes. I don't know. Um, these don't appeal to me at all. It seems like you're paying a like here's a $600 premium for a fancy leather band, and I guess some exclusive watch faces. Geez, this one's even more expensive. The deployment buckle is pretty nice, but like, so like, what kills me with these more expensive bands is that like when I got my first Apple Watch, like I really splurged on the stainless steel um link band, which is kind of like the watch I wear right now. Like this is the kind of band that I like. Um, and it was so shitty. I mean, it was very like scratched up instantly. Just felt like super light and thin and stuff like that. Um, oh, so here's the ceramic ones. These are neat. White ceramic sport band for $12.99. I'm curious to see these in real life to see if the ceramic makes that much of a difference. Because like if you look at like the gray ceramic case, right? Compare that to like the space gray aluminum case, or even the space black stainless case. Like that doesn't kind of hard to do a side by side, I guess. It looks pretty similar. I'm curious if it feels different or really looks that different or whatever else, or why you would buy this really. Unless I guess it's a status symbol thing. Looks like they got away with the gold one, or they did away with the gold one, which people always thought was pretty absurd. So yeah, I'm excited for these. Yeah, I with the Series One, I've had that forever, so it's definitely time to upgrade, I guess, and give the old Apple Watch another try. Um, it looks like the band connection is the same because the size is the same and everything. I don't know why they would swap out the band connection when like the band um, third party stuff is so huge. All right, so let's see. The new 4K TV looks like the remote is a little different in that like the menu thing has a white circle around it. That's a little different. Um, I don't really know what to think about the 4K Apple TV stuff. It still is very disappointing to me that um the gaming side of it feels like such a unbelievable afterthought. Um, I think it's supposed to be loading here and all this black light, right? Seems like something should be here. Oh, here we go. So yeah, 4K looks cool. I mean, I don't have a 4K TV, so it doesn't really do a whole lot for me. Like if eventually I get a 4K TV because they get cheaper, then sure. Maybe seems like something that you need. Like the HDR stuff definitely does look cool. Like whenever I go to Costco and see the new TVs they have right in front, like they do look beautiful, but I'm not the kind of person that will go out and spend $6,000 on a TV or whatever like the newest cool ones cost. Um, Sports stuff, I think that's going to be neat. The live sports. I mean, I don't really particularly care about sports stuff myself, but I know a lot of people maintain like weird different subscriptions with other stuff because the Apple TV sports side is not that fantastic. Um, yeah, gaming definitely is a happy accident. You're right there. Um, Yes, I don't know. Series stuff on the Apple TV, like I also find to be not that useful. Better graphics is cool, but it's the current Apple TV is kind of overpowered for 1080p video games anyway. Um, so yeah, I was kind of surprised that this, was so front and center in the keynote because it seems like kind of a not that interesting kind of thing. So 4K is 32 gigs for 179 or 64 for 199. I still couldn't tell you the difference that storage makes on the Apple TV. Like, so I have one of my downstairs like home theater kind of setup. I have one in my living room, one in my bedroom, and I think the only 64 gig one that I have is the first one that I bought, which I'm not even sure which of the TVs that's on because it doesn't even really give you any kind of indication of storage space or whatever else. So 180 or $200 for these. I feel like let's go out to the regular Apple TV. I think this is like 150, right? Yeah, so 150. I mean, like at that point, if this is 150, I don't know why you wouldn't spend the extra $30 just to get the 4K one. I mean, maybe that's the point all along, is just trying to get $30 more per sale because I don't like, even if you had a 1080p TV, right? Like, so if I was going like, no, all my TVs and my projector in my basement are all 1080p. But if I went out and bought one of these tomorrow, like if I needed an Apple TV, like I would definitely spend the extra $30 to get the better one because like there will be a point in my life where I will buy a 4K TV. So I don't know why you wouldn't kind of future proof a little bit. It looks like I wonder if they're doing a revision of the remote across the board because mine definitely does not have this white circle around it. So yeah, I guess that's the overview of the Apple TV stuff. I guess we can go through the tech specs of the. This shows anything interesting, but it doesn't really look like it. Lightning connector for charging, dual microphones. The remote seems the same. These are the same ports. Yeah, I don't know. HDR stuff again. If you have a thing that supports it, a TV that supports it, that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's the keynote today, I suppose. Seems pretty good. Definitely getting the iPhone X and the new Apple Watch. Probably that stupid charging pad thing whenever that comes out, and then why would you not get the new AirPods? Hopefully, I can just buy the case and use my existing AirPods. But I mean, the AirPods are cool enough that I could totally regift them to someone who would be very happy to have them. So even if I need to rebuy, to be a give Apple all of my money, um, I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been streaming for